Before I start testing lots of frequencies and whatever on the ZX-7, I thought I might create a test tape that I can use and just put lots of different frequencies on it that I don't have to worry about misusing it or anything. So what I've done is I've used my Azimuth tape to adjust the azimuth on this Denon DM14HX. This is a two-head machine, so what that means is that you adjust the head and you're adjusting the record and the playback head in one. So in theory it should be a perfect azimuth, so I've adjusted it for that. Now I'm creating a tape of different tones. I'm up to 5 kilohertz at the moment, and I'll now go up to 10. Okay, I'm now playing that recorded tape in the ZX-7. It's 1 kilohertz at the moment, and it's sitting on -1 dB, or -1 VU I should say. Oh no, dB. But the level is unimportant. It's they're both equal, which is good. And I'm now waiting to see what happens when I go to the higher frequencies. Now playing back 1 kilohertz, and it's, well, spot on frequency, around about -2 dB, so it's a dB less than when it started. Anyway, we'll see what happens, and I will adjust the azimuth at some stage, but I need to know how badly it is out first to give me an idea of if it can help me figure out what has actually been happening. The speed is fairly stable, within 1 or 2 hertz. That means approximately 0.1% within speed variance. Oh, that's not too bad. I won't be measuring wow and flutter though for quite a while. I need to set up a PC, and I don't have a wow and flutter meter. I will use a program on the computer. I think it's called GUI WF or something like that, and that should be able to guide me. Yeah, definitely after about 12 kilohertz it just disappears. Yeah, so that could explain a lot. So what I need to do is to try and adjust the azimuth now, but I'm not going to start with 15 kilohertz. I'm going to start with some of the lower frequencies. 5 kilohertz, that could be a nice one to start with. Yeah, so I didn't even write anything above 10 kilohertz. Actually 10 kilohertz. I did get a signal, so actually that might be a good one to do. Yeah. I'll wait till I get to the 10 and have a go at the azimuth. Well, I've just discovered, I may be wrong, but it looks as though I have to take off the whole front cover to be able to adjust the azimuth. You can't get into the adjustments here. I shouldn't have to take all this away just to adjust the azimuth. It's terrible, terrible idea. Maybe I'm missing something here. This is crazy, stupid. I must be missing something. Shouldn't have to do this. Right, I've temporarily shoved it back on. I've got to have another look to see what's going on. It could be when I press play that it's more obvious, so I might put some of the things back together and actually I can get to it. Yeah, there you go. Alright, Mr. Nakamichi. Yes, alright. You win me back. Doesn't look like it at first shot. You'd think it'd be in this opening here, but no, it's actually there, but you only see it when it's playing. Alright, okay, alright, fair enough. How sad, never mind. But I think to do that I'm going to have to put the arm back into place, because it's meant to be at the middle of the little arm. Right, this is where the azimuth adjustment comes in. Clips in there, and take the other end and do some movement on it and see what happens. The whole thing is spring loaded, so it can drift over time. There. Oh, it's moving something. Yeah. It only moves the record head. Ah, well that makes so much sense now, because it's never fully explained, of course, because this is the left side and it's in between what appears to be the replay head and the erase head. Oh well, fair enough. Yep, that makes so much sense now. So basically what it means is that the replay head has to always be checked with a proper calibration tape, and all the adjustment on the front does is adjust the record head to ensure that it's always doing the right thing. It's only one half of the problem though, isn't it? I mean, the Dragon with the NAAC system, which automatically adjusts azimuth, apparently that works in playback, like the CR7 with its manual playback azimuth adjustment. So do they have an automatic adjustment for both? I'm referring to the Dragon, for example. Does it adjust both? The playback head automatically and the record head when you do an automatic calibration, whereby it would go through the motions of setting everything up, including the azimuth of the record head? How does it all work? Very interesting and very rarely properly explained. But anyway, now I know this to be evident. I feel a bit more confident now about how I go about things. Now what I need to do is to be able to know that this adjustment will work all the way. It doesn't go all the way to the... No, it's hard to see here. This little adjustment here, you're meant to set it to the middle. Now at the moment it's relaxed. You adjust the... You adjust the push on that against the spring. It doesn't go all the way, not easily. It's not as smooth as I would like, the whole thing, but like that should just... Well, down this end it can actually go a little bit further. I don't know if you can see it, but when we pull on that, keep looking in there. Now if we put it in its furthest position, there is actually room for it to go further, but we need to find out what is the actual position. As I say, they keep losing. As we say, this little thing is meant to be in the middle. So even though I didn't want to take off the front cover, it has enabled me to see how this azimuth adjustment works. So it's not a total loss. I've put 2 marks for the extreme. Now I'm put a mark in the middle as to where the middle is. Need to make sure that the little lever is in the right hole. Alright, we're back together again. So now let's see if I can tweak that at azimuth. Right, I've tweaked it up at 10 kilohertz, the azimuth, and I don't think it was far off. I've been using the meter over in the corner and peaking it, so it should be alright. Oh, okay, here we go. That's a bit better. Oh, okay. Well, there's actually some signal on the dial. Oh, I think we'll just go through it all again. But I think I've tweaked the azimuth as best as I can for 15k. But this is the third day I've been playing with this ZX-7, and the last experience was that I felt I needed to sort of calibrate the mechanics of it to within an inch of its life, and I've sort of been proven sort of mostly right. But the short story is that it seems to now be working for recording. I'll demonstrate. That's a source. Press record. Go to tape. Source. It's not very good music, I'm afraid. Tape. Source. Basically, it's really hard to tell the difference between tape and source, so that's good. It's taken a bit of doing. So what happened? Basically, I got the azimuth right. I suspected that may be a problem, but may have been a problem, but I wasn't 100% sure. Now what I did was, with my Denon, with the two-headed Denon, I used the azimuth tape to make a copy with different frequencies on it, and you could argue that it was the correct azimuth, and the tape should be as good as, or close to as good as my original azimuth tape. So anyway, I got to make the tape, and I played in here for quite a bit, and eventually I tweaked it up and got it pretty close, I thought, to the maximum. And I got a few red bars up on the meters here for 15 kilohertz, so it was registering some of the higher frequencies, so that was good. I mean, a long way down, of course, but that was doing it. So anyway, in the end, I thought, well, let's stick the original azimuth tape back in, because well, that's what I should have been using, and it was actually different to my copied tape. How far away? Well, enough to make a difference. So fair enough. At least I discovered that I went through all the frequencies and sort of found that it was all working as it should, and the proper azimuth tape was purely just the icing on the cake to get it perfect. Once I did that, all of a sudden these controls seem to actually do something. Now, for example, we go into the record mode. Oh, I better go into recording. Okay, now we're in the... There we go. That has to be in record first. Now you notice that the little green light over here is now operating, the red light, so you could argue that it needs to move a little bit, and we can, but it's a very dicky adjustment. I'm not sure that I can rely upon it. I mean, I set that correct before, and there's no reason why it should have changed. Alright, see, now it's gone the other way. Well, why does it keep altering? I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's basically doing its own thing, so if it's anywhere near the red line, I think I'm happy. There could still be a fault in the azimuth circuitry that's not doing this right. It's basically a comparator circuit with a flip-flop, and as the levels change between whatever it's looking at in the audio, it flips a flop and sends either the green LED or there, or the green LED here, and if neither, then the red light in the middle. But as you can see, it's all over the place at the moment, so that's the one area that I'm not sure about. It just keeps moving around. Maybe there is a fault in that circuit. I'll just set it anywhere in there. I'll forget about that. But this sort of works now. The level and the bias. The level, you can tweak it up and down. Right, just those. And in the bias, now that the right one seems to have a lot more adjustability, and the left channel not so much. Now the left, see, it only goes up to here, but you can reduce it, which is actually, when you're going anti-clockwise, you're actually increasing the bias. So I'm not quite sure how they alter the signal for this sort of adjustment, but anyway, so you can go between these two and get it pretty close. So I'm using a TDK SA tape at the moment, one of the old type, so that's pretty good. Go back to the azimuth and alright, we've got a red light there now, so I have a feeling that is also a little bit dependent upon what these settings are here. I haven't figured out exactly what the correlation is, but I'm not too worried at the moment. It's something I'll work out for the long term. It could even be that there's more capacitors that are faulty, so but hey, it's working. I mean, how good is that? Finally. So we'll do another bit of recording. just to show you, and then we'll say good night. The only thing to do in the future is to change all the capacitors, convert it to 240 volt, and just do the final level calibrations and so on, and as much of the mechanical as I can without upsetting it too much, because I don't have all the jigs that Nakamichi recommend. I've only got, well, I will have a mirror cassette and my alignment tape, which I have not played yet, and the Azimuth tape. So they're the only ones that I've got, and they will have to do. Alright, let's record. Right, source, tape. With this little system I've got set up here, which is pretty ordinary, I can't tell the difference between source and tape, so that's a good sign. Tape. Right, source. Tape. The good thing about having this cassette deck is that whatever tape I get, hopefully, cross fingers, I can adjust the bias and the level to suit hopefully almost any tape. Now my other machines, the CR5 and the Denons, well actually one Denon can auto adjust, but especially the CR5, when I set up for the different tape types, I will be setting it up just for TDK SAs. I won't be setting it up for any other types. The Denon I may set up for the Denon tapes, because I do have a few of those, but yeah, we'll see. But basically they'll be using fixed cassettes with fixed biases and EQ required, so that I don't have to worry about them for recording. And any tape that's a bit unordinary, I can put through this machine and know that it will be recorded as close to the best possible that it can be. So that's why I'm quite happy to have a manual one, at least one manual machine. Well, I guess that's about it. Yeah, it's working and recording well, playing back well. Only funny thing is this azimuth adjustment, but yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I will fiddle with that over the coming years and try to understand how it works. And just to finish off, I have discovered one little fault with it. I dare say I'll find more, but when recording music and playing it back, if using Dolby C, when the music fades away to nothing in between tracks, you get this strange pumping action of the signal, and sort of pop, sort of pumping sound. It's not pleasant. It only does it on C-type. It doesn't do it on Dolby B or without Dolby. Only in the left channel, and mostly seems to be in playback, but it might be doing it a little bit in record, and the playback accentuates it. I've recorded something with this and played it back through another machine with Dolby C, and it sounds reasonable. So it's more than likely the playback of Dolby C in the left channel. Probably just an adjustment, but something I just have to remember, and anyway, Dolby B is fine by me. Alright, that's it. Just a quick look at the Dolby board, and it contains 8 ICs. They are just in sockets, so I may simply just try and just pull them out and push them back in. You never know, it might be a dirty pin or something. But you can see how many electrolytics and orange polyprop capacitors there are, so it could even be one of those. Unlikely to be one of the green caps, the polyester kind. There seems to be no adjustments, so apart from setting the main Dolby level on playback, that's it. So that's what I'll have to do. I'll reseat the chips and exchange the orange caps and electrolytics when I get them. So I won't know for a while, so stay tuned. Oh, probably in a month or two. Bye. Okay, one more. I tried to reseat the chips in the left channel for the decoder, and it made no difference, so I will have to wait for the caps. Okay. Alright, well, good night everyone, and stay safe.